Bojack Horseman can be a downright depressing show with its own brand of unique characters all dealing with similar issues in their lives, the search for meaning. The show Bojack Horseman is about celebrity actor of the same name and his climb from D-list obscurity back into pop culture relevance. Season 1 was about building his legacy in the form of his biography and his relationship with his ghostwriter Diane. Make sure to click up here to watch our analysis of Season 1 on the show, where we look at Bojack's place within the toxic celebrity culture and the struggle of the individual against the collective. Season 2 is about Bojack reveling in his book success and scoring his dream role as an actor, playing his hero, Secretariat, on the big screen. And that just scrapes the surface of the emotional drama and some of the best comedy this show has to offer.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't do anything wrong because I can't do anything wrong because we're all just products of our environment, bouncing around like marbles in this game of hungry, hungry hippos that is our random and cruel universe. Yeah, it's me. Straight off your YouTube feed and into your shitty lives. Now that's just culturally effed.
Hey, aren't you the guy from Horsing Around?
Bojack Horseman explores some crucial aspects of the meaning of life and existence. Different philosophers have tried to analyze these thoughts by asking questions like, who am I? Does anything actually matter? Will anything I do matter? As it turns out, absolutely not. This is known as the absurd, where people try to find meaning in life. They will fail because life is devoid of it. Wisecrack's analysis of the whole of Bojack Horseman takes a great in-depth look at how the show addresses the absurd. Click the link in the description to watch that video after, you're done watching our video. The characters of the show all go through something that inevitably either falls through or begins on an insignificant premise. However, they must press onwards for one reason or another, such is the nature of their existence. Episode 5 focuses on a massive food chain, Chicken for Days, exploiting lesser sentient creatures for the sake of food, and answers the question, if there are sentient chickens, how do you serve chicken as food? A question we also addressed in our episode on furry world building.
Over at Chicken for Days, they pump their chickens full of hormones and keep them cooped up in tiny cages. Now, as a chicken, this concerns me.
But wait, Pa, aren't we chickens? I don't want to get eaten.
They're specifically bred to be eaten and genetically modified for maximum flavor. When our chicks are first hatched, we lovingly inject them with natural, delicious hormones, which makes them meat, thereby erasing any moral gray area. No one knows chicken like chickens. Gentle Falls.
A chicken escapes from Chicken for Days' truck, so Diane Todd, with the help of side character Irving, try to find the chicken a good home. When they get it to a supposedly humane chicken plantation called Gentle Farms, Diane quickly changes her opinion of the ranch, seeing it as the Animal Farm scenario that lies just beneath the pleasant surface. As they ponder whether or not they actually made a difference, just behind them, a Chicken for Days sign reads 6 billion meals served. Other episodes keep with this line of thought, whether as the excessively morbid game show Hollywood Stars and Celebrities What Do They Know? Do They Know Things? Let's Find Out, or the sexual assaults committed by a famous comedian talk show host. Nothing they do manages to have any effect on the world around them. Their efforts are either reversed back the way they were before, or it was just a trivial matter to begin with. What exactly do we do when our lives lack meaning? In the social jungle of human existence, there is no feeling of being alive without a sense of identity, said philosopher Erik Erikson. In response to this, we either let ourselves become distracted or we seek pleasure. The world of Bojack has a way of labeling and dealing with such problems. You're either a Zelda or a Zoe. Zelda and Zoe were twins from Mr. Peanut Butter's show from the 90s that rivaled Bojack's called Mr. Peanut Butter's House. Zoe is the introvert, skeptical and drags her feet, and Zelda is the extrovert, ready to jump onto new opportunities without thinking about the outcome. Let's start with Zoe. Bojack is in a depressive mood semi-permanently, and this empathetically transfers onto Diane. After the success of her book from season 1, she struggles to find things to do with her time that also imbue meaning and purposefulness in her life. She becomes extremely infuriated at trivial matters. She has a strong need to be heard and to feel important. She wants to have some kind of impact on the world. This leads to her major conflict in the second season, writing a book for philanthropist millionaire Sebastian St. Clair, who is volunteering in the fictional war-torn country of Cordovia. St. Clair is a rather dashing snow leopard that she would have otherwise respected from afar, but the more time she spends with him, the more he's revealed to be just as fake as any celebrity in Hollywood. This disillusionment rattles Diane, changing her for the duration of the season, making her question her life and past choices. In her case, depression takes over. The other side of the coin is the Zelda, one who seeks pleasure to distract oneself. Bojack falls into this in episode 6 when he explores, you know, the one hand on the Adam's apple, the other hand on the Adam's banana, the strokey chokey,
the funky Spider-Man,
autoerotic asphyxiation. It's the perfect analogy for Bojack's solution to the majority of his problems. Pleasure oneself in a kind of existential pain until it eventually kills you. More than a couple of times in the series thus far, he recklessly travels through life seeking pleasures to have him deal with his very existence. But the pursuit of pleasure leaves not only Bojack wounded, but kills at least 2 people in one episode. It is a hedonistic response to an absurdist worldview. Bojack's existence is something that we can all understand, or at least one that we can relate to. We do not understand our world, and there is really no way of knowing our own thoughts or behaviors or impact of ourselves. His mother is a metaphor for existential pain. She makes him smoke a whole pack of cigarettes after he steals one from her, and when he asks why he's being punished, she responds with, "For being alive." In an earlier episode, she flat out tells him that he is doomed to be a sad person genetically. Why the long face, Bojack? He struggles with what he actually wants in life. He rewatches episodes of Horsing Around to give himself an idea of family. Something that he has desperately wanted, even believing his castmates were a kind of adopted family, more real than his abusive biological family. Bojack in later episodes moves in with his old friend's family, becoming strongly attached before having to break ties. He wants to be loved, but he finds himself ostracized, being unable to deal with rejection or disappointment. Season 2 of Bojack Horseman brings much more depth to its side characters from Season 1. Diane, Princess Carolyn, Todd, and Mr. Peanut Butter all come to different conclusions about their meaning in such an absurd world.
The universe is a cruel, uncaring void. The key to being happy isn't to search for meaning, it's to just keep yourself busy with unimportant nonsense, and eventually you'll be dead.
Their misadventures focus on the search for such meanings, but they all lack actual significance. Every character deals with their existence with absent purpose, and when all else fails, they go into either a depressive slump or they bend towards hedonism. Freedom is what you do with what's been done to you, said Sartre's girlfriend probably. Throughout several points in the show, each character comes to question their existence. The characters try to find something meaningful and end up finding nothing. During a friend's funeral, Bojack desperately tries to find meaning and significance regarding death. He investigates further only to find something terrible, an unflattering autobiography of the deceased. And that's really all he finds. He even accuses of someone of flat-out murder rather than accept that death is swift, sudden, and unpredictable. As Harry Winkler puts it,
"You ascribed a mystery to Herb's death to give it meaning. But there is no meaning in death. That's why it's so terrifying."
Bojack struggles especially when it comes to Wanda, an owl who's been in a coma for 30 years, completely ignorant of Bojack's fame. It gives him a clean slate to be whoever he wishes in front of her, but his inevitable suffering ends up costing his relationship with her. Wanda represents power. She has the freedom to do what she pleases with her life regardless of her coma, where Bojack does not. She consistently takes control of situations, evaluates them, and moves on. Wanda has a freedom to get what she wishes, and in contrast, Bojack submits to whatever he impulsively thinks of. Bojack Horseman is an extremely complex show full of emotions and deep thought. Its meaning surpasses that of the wealth of social status because these are issues that everyone must choose to contemplate or ignore. Basically, we can relate to these rich celebrities because their stories are about emotions that everyone experiences. Observing our purpose or meaning is perfect for the world building of Bojack Horseman. Hollywood is a world of fiction and triviality. The setting allows for the construction and ideas to distract and observe. In many ways, Bojack is a sort of meta show. The lives of the fictional characters in the show are just as meaningless as our own, but does so in a cartoonish unreality and lightening up with great comedy. Few forms of media can pull off such outstanding process of thought and direction, especially for the furry fandom. I have been your host, Arrkay. Thanks for watching.
I hope you guys fancied that episode. I'm all fancied up, but that doesn't mean I have to wear pants because I'm a rabbit. If you like Culturally F, share, like, and most importantly, subscribe. Ding that little bell. Support for Culturally F comes from our Patreon subscribers. Check out www.patreon.com/culturallyf and consider becoming a monthly donor. Check out our website, culturallyf.com. Consider buying one of our t-shirts and signing up for our monthly newsletter. If you do any or all of these things or follow us on social media, you will never miss another episode of Culturally F again. That's a Rusty guarantee. If you excuse me, I've been your host, Rusty Shacklefur, tipping out my hat to all you subscribers out there. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, guys.